Nashville is located. What's up, United States of America? United States of America. Yeah. Get up. What's up, our international listeners? We got some international listeners. Ain't that right, Roz?
Yeah.
Housekeeping stuff. It's what we do here on Real News. Then we get into the realest of the real news.
When you feel like it.
When you feel like it.
I always feel like it.
Yeah, that's true. We should get Marshall to run a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. Grandpa's call number.
Oh gosh.
AM760.
Talk about lazy face. That's like when you go out of the grocery store and you're right next to your car and you have like the cart deal like right next to your car and you still just like leave it there. I do that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my!
Know?
Did you really just sell yourself out like that?
I don't care.
Next, you're gonna tell me you're one of these people that parks across lines, which those
Oh
are.
no! I don't do that.
Those are the worst kind of people.
No.
Have you seen what they started doing with those people now, though? They'll take, like, pink and purple chalk. It usually ends up happening with someone like an F-350 with a 6-inch lift and 38-inch tires and blah, blah, blah. They'll park across 4 or 5 different lines. I mean, literally perpendicular. I mean, forming a 90-degree angle with lines. Or they'll park, over 2 or 3 lines because they got such a big truck. Well, they'll draw these big boxes around them and in pink and purple chalk put princess parking.
No.
I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Nothing better than a little public shaming. No problem with that. You know what I mean? I got no problems with public shaming.
You're just like a pure asshat when you do that,
What they used to do in high school, at least the senior football players would, if you did that, or if you were a freshman or sophomore parking in the senior lot, you've seen this before, obviously. They would pull their Jeeps up alongside of each one of the car doors with like an inch each, so you had to crawl out of your trunk. They did that to me one day, but it's also because in high school I thought I was a cool guy. Apparently I wasn't.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hey, here's some other cool housekeeping things, some that Roz didn't even know about. I'll tell you in a second. She knows about this. She knows about the AM760. If you're listening on the 92.3 FM and you drive out of the range, don't forget about the AM760. She knows about the Crown Plaza call number 865-888-TALK. That's 865-888-8255. She also knows about the app.
Okay, what do I not know about?
I'm gonna get to it. It's just a big old build-up here. Talk Radio 92.3 Knoxville. Talk Radio 92.3 Knoxville. Put all those words into your app store. She also knows about the Facebook. Just type in a Real News Radio and the Patreon, patreon.com.
It's not Real News Radio. It's Real News Radio. Just
what did I say? I bet if you put that in, it'll come up there.
I probably would.
Cortana or Alexa said, "Did you mean Real News Radio?"
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I did. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Google. Here's the thing she doesn't know about is, as of yesterday, our YouTube channel kind of went live. We got...
No.
Yeah. We got 2 videos up there on the YouTube channel now. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I'm the greatest video editor in the world, so I got to figure this out. Right now, it's just the full video clips, commercials included for at least, not commercials, but the off-air stuff I do with Facebook. So whatever the Facebook people are seeing now, you can see on YouTube as well. I got those uploaded Tuesday's show, which I really, really enjoyed, and yesterday's show as well. I'll put today's show up there also. If anybody knows I got the Surface Pro, anybody knows the decent video editing software, what I'm trying to do with the YouTube channel, obviously, is some of the best segments of the day that I really enjoy.
Can show you. She's, like, amazing at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Video editing?
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, profesh.
Huh. Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm. What I'm obviously trying to do is what all these other YouTube people are doing is I'm trying to cut up little, anywhere from 2 to 5 to 7 minute little vignettes of things and put a heading on there. And
so you're not doing the whole show?
Oh, the whole show will be up there every single day for sure. But I'm saying just
want to like take out interviews. And stuff like that?
Interviews and like the thing we did with Captain Kircher yesterday. I think that was good. If you want to know specifically about the 737 Max issue, I can throw that up there and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing. Here's what we're talking about today.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Uber exciting. One might say. You know what I mean?
You kind of made the goal. Buddy.
Well, yeah. Well. That's a Roz and me thing here. Yeah. Hey, here's some stuff we're talking about today. I may need to hit some old school headlines of, some Congressman Omar stuff that's still up in the news. Let's see here. Trump ties to Russia. Americans apparently have already made up their minds prior to Mueller coming out with whatever Mueller's going to come out with. And that ties into the biggest stories of the day that I'll get to here in just a second. Let's see. Salon is now saying, which I think is just rich. It's just special. As who's that guy? Is it Dana Carvey? Well, then that's special. Yeah, right. I think Salon is just special. They say that Republicans freak out over H.R. 1. They don't want America to have fair elections. Really? Really? Is Republicans they don't want to have fair elections? Tell that to Bernie Sanders. Are you kidding me right now? A federal judge basically wrote down in his ruling, you kind of stole the primary from Bernie Sanders, but I can't do anything to help you. It's a private corporation. If they want to come on this floor and argue to me, which they did, Let's recount this one more time. The attorneys for the DNC went on the floor and argued that even though Article 5 of their charter is at Charter 501, Article 5, I believe it is, that says you have to run a fair and impartial primary, their argument was the definition of what fair and impartial was is basically up to our discretion. So if we want to go behind some closed-door, cigar smoke-filled room and say that it was fair and impartial, but what we really did is chose Hillary Clinton ahead of time and stole the election from Bernie Sanders, we can do that. And the judge had to agree. So, Salon, don't come in with this nonsense about the Republicans are the ones that don't want a fair election. How do you write this article and print it? One of two things is happening. Either you're purposely misleading and you just don't care because it's about this. These particular means will justify these particular ends. Are you Solinskying me, or do you just not know that they stole the election from Bernie Sanders? I don't know. Another headline I want to get to here. This is a very interesting article, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get here. I was America's first non-binary person, and it was all a sham. Now, a non-binary person is something that I'm still trying to get my philosophical head around, and we may or may not get to that today. I got some conversation about AI. Of course, here's the story that I'm really wanting to lead off with today as we're getting into the first part of this break. A couple stories about... I have anywhere from 6 to 10 stories that are all talking about a similar thing here. Actually, let me hold off for 2 seconds, and then I just want to tease as much as I possibly can. Some other stories I might talk about today. www.worries.com, inventor of the web, laments the coming age woes. Going on to say, hey, I invented this whole thing called the interweb. You guys are messing it up, man. You guys are messing it up. I'm the one that invented this technology for you, and I am extremely fearful of how you guys are using it, and you need to take it back. He's actually even posing now like a new sort of social contract theory almost for people that are on the internet or internet providers or Google or Facebook or something. And he's really trying to plead with everyone. What you all have turned the internet into was not what it was initially meant for. The whole collection and selling of data is probably not the reason why I designed this. We also have the Tennessee Star. I may have to be out of the show today. I'm jumping all over the place, I know, but it's the first segment. I may have to be out of the show today, by the way, at right around the 9 o'clock hour. Did I say error? That's not even a thing. Hour is what the 9 o'clock hour. The 9 o'clock hour. I got that whole CT scan. Can you make CT scan sound gangster? CT scan. That could be my rap name, right? I went to med school. What's your name? Oh yeah, I'm Ghostface Killer. What's your name? Oh, I'm CT scan. Oh yeah? All right, cool, man. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah. I hit that button. Swerves around. CT scan. Anyways. Yeah, so I may be out at the 9 o'clock hour, but here's what either Mr. Adams or whoever is filling in for me. Maybe talking to Tennessee Star. Our little old Tennessee Star, and I say little old Tennessee Star because it's not really little old anymore, has made it to Snopes.com. They did, I'm not kidding y'all, a couple month-long investigation. Here's the headline here. Coming from Snopes. Come on, yeah. Hiding in plain sight, PAC-connected activists set up local news outlets, and they have local news in quotes here. This thing is got to be, I don't know, thousands and thousands of words of an article. They did months upon months upon months worth of research to somehow prove to you that the Tennessee Star and everything connected to the Tennessee Star is nothing more than propaganda, misleading articles, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So we have that story coming up. We also have the Conservative HQ, conservativehq.com, that's breaking down all that research and really showing you, all right, listen, these fact-checking websites started out with a seemingly noble cause, and they did. Let's be for real about that. PolitiFact and Snopes, even Snopes to some extent, when it first started, not now, when it first started, when she was just a cat lady in a basement, they started out with a seemingly noble cause. They wanted people to understand what was truth and separate that from non-truth and whatever else. Well, now it's literally just become a propaganda arm. As we hit this break, though, what we're going to come back with, this is what I've been wanting to get to pretty much all week, but I'm glad that I left out one more day because Devin Nunez is helping me prove this point. You want to know why you listen to Real News? Because Real News reveals pieces of analysis that are months ahead of when they're supposed to be revealed. I got a 12-minute clip from Devin Nunez that's explaining almost verbatim every single thing I've said from this Mueller probe since day one. I'm talking about the Christopher Steele tie-in, the Bruce Orr ties in. I'm talking about the Christopher Steele didn't even formulate the dossier, all of this stuff. And this is the biggest story coming out of that I wanted to get to as well today, too. Man, hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. Lisa Page is dropping the bomb on all these people. DOJ shutting down investigation on Hillary Clinton investigation before it even started. All this stuff. Hit this first break when we get back. I'm not supposed to be eating this. But it's good. Look, I burnt my oranges and everything. Really? That's cool. Fountain City? Alright. What do you think about this? Because I'm like a multi-hyphenate, you know what I mean? I'm an old school Renaissance man. I do it all. I just taught myself one day, I thought to myself, like, Mr. Henry, what are you not the man at already? You know what I mean?
Tell me where you learned this, because I don't believe
probably
that.
Juggling oranges is one of those things that you're not baller at yet. I can juggle, too, a little bit.
Do it.
I gotta have a third ball.
Just try with those. Did you put the other one in your hand?
I could if I had some third thing to throw up.
Oh, man.
That's how you learn to juggle. You start with two in one hand.
Oh. What is this?
Boom! Roz, why did you bring me this? It's good.
I know. It's not that fattening, so don't freak out.
I'm only eating half.
Oh, my gosh. It's an English muffin. They have, like, nothing in them.
I bet it has trans fats in it, doesn't it?
Probably.
Roz, why are you trying to kill me?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just glad you're eating breakfast. You never do.
Screw you, McDonald's. I'm throwing it away. You want it?
No, you just ate it. Ew. I want your cooties. Ugh.
Over toward Nashville for March Madness.
That was good. I wanted the rest of it, but I can't do it. Hey, it's 7:23 in the morning. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this program entitled Real News. I ran 2 minutes and 5 seconds. My bad. Hey, Ray, you're in Facebook. You're listening right now. Ray just said something to Facebook talking about my video clip ran 10 minutes and 5 seconds yesterday. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ray, how did you download that beyond the 360 or 340, whatever it is? How'd you get it in 780p? Tell me, Ray, what program are you using? It'll only let me download in 360, or at least upload it back in 360. I don't know what I'm doing. It looks awful. On YouTube is the point I'm making. I still look great, though. I look great in 240 or 360 or, man, even 1440, this new super high def, quad HD. Ooh, that's even better, you know what I mean? Symmetry, the cheekbones. Look at Ross's face. All right, let's get into this. Here's what I was talking about, okay? Going back to earlier this week, a little bit later last week, here's the headline from Fox News. Lisa Page admitted Obama DOJ ordered stand down on Clinton email prosecution. Here's a tweet. The just revealed FBI agent Lisa Page transcript makes the Obama Justice Department look exactly like it was, a broken, corrupt machine. Hopefully, justice will be served, more to come. Now, here's the problem I'm having with this, though, Mr. Trump. Sorry, President Trump. Let's be respectful here. I'm about to play the clip from Adam Schiff, and he goes on to say, we've had these interviews for months, and the DOJ has known about it. These interviews that we're just now finding out about, they're being revealed to us after months and months. We're talking dozens upon dozens, if not, 20, 30, 40, 50 different interviews that have been conducted already. There was a separate oversight committee, an investigation task force team specifically devoted to the stuff that Lisa Page was leaking. And what Adam Schiff says in this next interview, sorry, not Adam Schiff. I get the Devin Nunez and Adam Schiff confused sometimes. That's a bad thing. What Devin Nunez says in this next interview is, we've been asking the DOJ to help us out with this because we really need the expertise of the DOJ. So President Trump, I hear where you're coming from, and you say that more is to come. I'm not exactly sure what you're waiting for. The only thing I can possibly speculate is everything we have in Clinton Foundation right now, everything we have in Uranium One, everything we now have from Lisa Page and Peter Strzok's testimony saying, here's some other headlines, by the way, just so you know. Peter Strzok apparently only had impeachment and career advancement on his mind when he decided to go work for Mueller. Shouldn't be surprising, but it is. Here's another headline. Peter Strzok again confirmed that the Clinton DOJ struck a deal that blocked FBI access to Clinton Foundation emails on her private server. Here's another one. Hillary Clinton investigators were told Obama DOJ were not willing to charge her on key espionage statute. Here's yet another one. Bruce Orr revealed that political operatives got the FBI to investigate the NRA. So Trump, I'm not exactly sure what you're waiting for to bring this hell fury down on the people that need to have it brought down on. The only thing I can possibly speculate, and I suppose there's some strategy to this, I really do, is you're waiting for Mueller to drop his nothing burger. Because if you drop everything now, if you, Trump, play your ace card early now, before the flop or the river or whatever the thing is called, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to give political fodder to the other side that this is a sort of a spin. It's a tactic to distract away from what Mueller will come out with. And then inevitably, whatever Mueller comes out with, it didn't have to be anything at all. You could then make the reasonable argument that, see, Trump was worried about fill in the blank, whatever that fill in the blank is. Because even Alan Dershowitz, and I think he's correct with this, Alan Dershowitz has been very clear about this thing. I've been privy to a little bit of information as to what I think is going to be included in the Mueller probe. What you're probably going to see, and I'll tell you this right now, is you're probably going to get a James Comey pulled on you. The same thing they did with Hillary Clinton. Except in this case, it's not going to actually make sense. You're going to say Trump, it had some weird, seemingly nefarious dealings, and it felt weird, it felt unethical. It wasn't technically criminal or illegal, but it got just up to that point of intentionality, but we didn't really have the smoking gun to fill it in. Which in my mind says, all right, y'all, you've been playing this scenario out since day one. Since day one. Do you remember me telling you, and this is the clip that I'm about to play with Devin Nunez when we get back. Do you remember me telling you months ago that Glenn Simpson, yes, that Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS, when he was an op-ed journalist for the New York Times, wrote an article in the late 2000s, 2007, 2008, describing this exact same situation, except it happened with John McCain? I'm talking the same exact players. I'm talking Kislyak, Paul Manafort, Rick Gates, literally everybody except the ancillary players of the George Papadopouloses and all that. It was the exact same players. Glenn Simpson wrote about this back in 2007. So all they did was repackage it and put it back out there. They just put Trump's name on it. Do you remember me telling you also that it's starting to look like now, and this was about a week ago, if not about a month back, it's starting to look like now that Christopher Steele didn't even write any of this dossier himself, and if he did write some of the dossier, it was very small portions of the dossier that he actually penned or garnered that information or anything. Do you remember me also telling you, and keep all this in the back of your mind when I play this Devin Nunez clip, because he basically confirms all this. Do you remember me also telling you that Glenn Simpson's wife put a very weird Facebook post out there that's now since been deleted? This was a year back or a couple years back. I don't quote me at the time, but nevertheless, she put this Facebook post out there saying that everything that's in the Steele dossier was actually uncovered by her husband. Because at the time, Glenn Simpson's wife wanted Glenn Simpson to get credit for it if Trump was going to be brought down. She just didn't realize the con that was going on at the time. She didn't understand that Glenn Simpson was fabricating this information to push off to Christopher Steele, because Christopher Steele had veracity with the FBI, meaning he had already passed his credibility test. They had used him for things before. He had been vetted within the Five Eyes community, if you will. They could trust what Christopher Steele was saying, or If the FBI couldn't or the CIA couldn't, they knew that the FISA court would at least trust his last name. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of names being thrown out here. I'll break this all down when we get back. But Glenn Simpson's wife saw all this stuff that was in the Steele dossier and thought to herself, this is stuff that my husband uncovered, not knowing, yes, you're right. You are right. That is stuff that your husband uncovered. But he uncovered it. He wrote the Hollywood script 10 years ago, tried to pawn it off on John McCain. John McCain lost, so they didn't need to do it. They repackaged it, gave it back to Christopher Steele, used it through the FISA court, so they could spy on the Trump campaign. They literally weaponized our intelligence communities. That is what happened. And this is the same thing that Devin Nunez. This is why you listen to Real News. You've been getting this commentary and analysis for months on end. Now Devin Nunez is finally revealing and confirming it on Sean Hannity's program 2 days ago. And I'm still sitting back here wondering, dude, what are we doing with Bruce Orr when he revealed that political operatives got the FBI to investigate the NRA? Yo, what are we doing with Obama's DOJ when it's now been revealed that Hillary Clinton investigators were told by Obama's DOJ that they were unwilling to charge her in key espionage statutes? Can we do something about that? And here's the final piece that I didn't finish out. Maybe Trump is waiting until Mueller drops his ball, drops his nothing burger, because when that happens, you have a few things that are coalescing all at the same time. You have the fact that Mueller has nothing, that the fact that Mueller has nothing means the Democrat representation and representatives have been letting down their base for close to 3 years, y'all. 3 years they've been promising there will be a smoking gun. I promise you, we will find the Russia collusion smoking gun. I promise you. When Mueller comes out, they got nothing. You couple that with now Beto O'Rourke is getting in the presidential race. Dude, everybody and their mother and their mother's cousin now is running for this Democrat presidential nomination. It's outrageous. Beto O'Rourke just lost to a first-term senator, by the way, a freshman senator in Texas. And you're going to tell me that he can win the presidency? Yes, I know. Yeah, we go. 7:32, hit this break. Be right back.
Prison. Hillary for prison.
Trump's on that. That the FBI was sticking to the. Trump's not that bad, my dude. Trump's not that bad. Please, it's for my job. Trump's not that bad.
No, it's pretty bad.
Come on, it's not that bad.
I'm not even into politics.
Please,
so sorry.
please, I have a vest on.
Welcome back. Nancy Pelosi's new comments that she does not support impeachment and that the president isn't worth impeaching comes as...
Trump's not that bad. She crumbled it up. No! Don't litter it, please. Hey guys, it's Fleckus. This week we're at CSU Long Beach. We're here to talk to some college kids and see what they think about Trump. We're here to tell them that Trump is not that bad. I'm not here to tell them he's the best. I'm not here to tell them he's the worst. I'm just here to say that Trump is not that bad. Let's see what they think. All right, cool. Hello, can I ask you a question? All right, I'm here to tell people that Trump's not that bad. Do you agree?
I mean, I don't particularly agree with a lot of his stuff, but he is a human, and humans have both good and bad things to them.
Okay, that's cool. That works for me. And you think there's some things that he's done in office that are undeniably good?
I've seen, I've seen, like, when I look on the news, like, sometimes there is something that, like, I agree with that he does, and then I have to, like, step back because I want to think of him as all bad. But, yeah.
Trump's not that bad. Do you agree? No, not that bad. Not that bad, baby. That's all I want. That's all I want. 30 seconds of your time is very important. I'll walk with you if it's cool. All right. I got 30 seconds. I'm here to raise awareness. I'm wearing a yellow vest, as you can see. Trump's not that bad is my thing. So we agree with that? Can you come meet me in the middle on that one? I'm not saying he's the best. Not saying he's the worst. I'm just saying he's not that bad. What do you think?
No, he's not good.
Quick. Ooh, and a stop and shop. Trump's not that bad. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't have much to say.
But everyone thinks he's horrible. Everyone thinks he's great. You can agree that most people are in the middle and would agree maybe Trump's not that bad, right?
Yeah, I can honestly agree with that. What's up, buddy? Hey, my buddy and I are big fans. We wanted to say hi here.
What's up, dude? What's going on? We're here spreading awareness today. Trump's not that bad.
Hell
It's a
yeah,
surprise,
man.
isn't it?
Chase
Well,
the ass.
Do you agree that Trump's not that bad?
Absolutely not. I love Trump.
No, I'm saying he's not that bad.
It's pretty terrible.
There's some good things he's done that are undeniable, right?
I don't believe so.
4 million jobs since he's been in office.
No comment on that.
Okay, ISIS has been pretty much defeated, completely destroyed. 5 million people in the Middle East have been liberated because ISIS has been defeated. That's pretty good, right? Right?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just saying okay.
Okay, that works for me. Since he started in office, ISIS had 35,000 fighters on 17,500 square miles of land. Now there's less than 1,000 fighters on less than 20 square miles of barren desert land. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's good.
ISIS defeated is pretty good.
It's pretty subjective if you ask me. Why did he withdraw them too early, though?
He's just anti-war. He just wants to get out of the Middle East.
I know, but like...
It's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Why does the media and the left want war so bad all of a sudden?
I don't know. I mean, I am against endless wars as well.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Tough crowd. Hello? Guess not. Sir. Sir, under the tree. I feel like if someone yelled out loud, I would immediately assume they're looking at me. It's like, you yell, excuse me, and no one turns. It's weird. These college kids are like, everyone just got their AirPods in, I think. I'm handing some stuff out. Trump's not that bad.
Well, actually, we were talking about it in my comm class today. So we were talking about the different ways that you can defend yourself from an argument. And we were looking about that, he was on the news and he was trying to basically say like, oh yeah, what I said 12 years ago in that one van isn't that bad, but look at everything else I'm doing. I'm like going and I'm helping mothers and I'm talking to them and I'm like going and trying to make our nation better. And then he proceeded to basically tear down Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton to try to make himself seem better, so as a way to bolster himself. So
okay. Have you ever said anything that's inappropriate that you wouldn't want people to know about that's on camera secretly recorded? What's the worst thing you've ever said?
Well, no.
Imagine that being recorded and released. That would be good, right?
No, it wouldn't be good at all. Not at all.
And I'm not defending what he said. I'm just saying there's times I've said some bad stuff. I have friends that have said bad. Stuff. I know I've been in a locker room a lot of times in my life. There's people that said bad stuff. I know women that have said crazy bad stuff. So I don't want to define the man by the one sentence with Billy Bush in a van that time. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. I completely understand what you mean because we all have, our personalities and stuff, and we all have different ways that we interact with, our friends or our families. And obviously, since it was behind closed doors, it wasn't meant to be brought out to the public. But unfortunately it was, so, a lot of people judged him off of that. So, but I like your standpoint where, just because of one single thing that somebody said, you can't really judge him off of just that.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Oh, you're that YouTube channel from, about politics and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I watch your stuff. It's pretty
cool.
Very nice.
Thanks, man. I'm here to raise awareness today that Trump's not that bad.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's the best president. I'm not saying he's Hitler. I'm just saying he's not that bad. Do you agree?
I'm basically Democrat, but if he, some positive stuff has come out of his presidency, right?
Median household income $62,450, highest ever, adjusted for inflation as well.
That sounds good.
Black, Hispanic, Asian, and women unemployment's at an all-time low. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
4 million people off of food stamps since he took office. That's pretty good, right?
Right. Where are you getting this data about?
This piece of paper.
These people where from?
I made sure to get articles from Washington Post and CNN. I want to get it from the left.
What about actual government data?
Yeah, this is all basically from government data. This is .gov and.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Unemployment for blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and women is at an all-time low. That's pretty good.
No.
No. No.
Unemployment for them?
Yeah, it's lowest ever.
That's not good.
Why?
Because I believe in equality.
Okay, I can just move on. Would you agree that he's not that bad?
He is kind of bad.
4 million new jobs since he's been in office. Good or bad?
I would have to double check your source. What's your source?
Right to try. So if you are terminally ill, you can try experimental drugs that haven't been approved yet and a chance to save your life. Pretty good?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Deported and arrested thousands of MS-13 gang members and their associates. That's always good.
That's a good thing.
Hey. 7:40 in the morning. Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. Kelly's saying on my Facebook here. If you want me to interact with your Facebook comments, just go to type in Real News Radio to your Facebook search bar. You'll see our little black and white logo with the newsboy popping up there. The newspaper that says extra, extra. Read all about it. The read all about it's not there. It's just extra. Kelly's saying on Facebook, months, try years. Saying arrest her already. Kelly's saying now, nearly 3 years later, we have the same corruption, same people playing the same games. And yes, you're exactly right, Kelly. And I'll tell you, I don't know. I mean, I got to go back one more time. I seriously, if I'm being honest, if I'm being Mr. Objective, Mr. Henry on Real News, I don't think anything is ever going to happen to any of these people. I really don't. And I'm not trying to be, pessimistic here. I'm not. I'm just trying to be somewhat realistic is all I'm saying. And I'm not talking about some type of legal immunity that they might have, or maybe I am talking about that. I'm just saying I don't necessarily know if there's enough political capital left to go around. At least not right now. Now, if Trump wins again in 2020, we got some more Supreme Court justice up there, maybe we're going to start seeing the paddy wagons roll out at the FBI and show up to Obama's place and Clinton's high-rise. I mean, maybe. With that being said, though, I said before, this is the reason why I listen to Real News. And look, this is not necessarily Real News comments. I get a lot of my stuff from multiple sources. Dan Bongino is a guy, for example, that's been on this particular chain of analysis for quite some time. But here's Devin Nunez on Sean Hannity's show saying basically the same thing I've been saying for the last couple months here, specifically pertaining to this Mueller probe, specifically pertaining to the Russia collusion narrative, pertaining to this idea that it all feels a bit fabricated, like we've heard this before, because we have heard this before. And the dots to connect are far too apparent now for everybody not to see them. I mean, even something as simple as that, that Russian honeypot lawyer that went to go meet with Trump Jr., she got her memo from Glenn Simpson. It was literally drafted by Fusion GPS to bring in on Hillary Clinton, but Hillary Clinton's DNC was paying Fusion GPS at the time, so it doesn't make sense for them to try and get a one-over on her. They were meant to set up Don Jr. That's what was going on. Nevertheless, I digress. Here's Devin Nunez on Sean Hannity's program.
Let's go through what you learned from the Orr testimony and the Page testimony in particular that was just released a few hours ago.
Well, as you know, we've had the Page testimony for some time because that was part of the task force that we set up last Congress. And so the frustrating part of this is that we've been asking for the Department of Justice to release these transcripts for months now. And don't forget, there are still about 70-some interviews that the House Intelligence Committee did, and then you have to add on the 15, roughly, transcripts, the interviews that the task force did. So there's 80 in total, and of which you've only seen a couple of them. So as this starts to come out, I think what you'll see is that all of this is unusual. That's probably the first thing I would start with. There was the activity that was being undertaken by the Justice Department and the FBI was, they would say unusual. I would say it was more like corruption, but steps that never have been taken before at the DOJ or the FBI, starting with the fact that they use the counterintelligence capabilities, the capabilities that are used to target terrorists and bad guys overseas, and they turned it onto a political party.
All right, now that's a very strange way to phrase what he just phrased. I'm going to play it. I'm backing it up about 15 seconds for you to play that one more time. It's a very, very strange thing. Now, Devin Nunez has a tendency to do this. By this, I mean casually roll out some very seemingly serious accusations, but couch it in terminology that remains somewhat ambiguous. And then at the back end of all that, drop something that would be one of the most monumental political scandals in all of American history. Did you follow that? Now, he does it in a particular way because he doesn't, one, want to get himself into any type of political hot water. Two, doesn't want to get himself into any type of legitimate legal liability for defamation claims or something of the like. But he sort of coaxes you into this notion of, well, look, I'm not necessarily saying that some illegal aspect was committed here. It does feel like there was something unethical. And then at the back end of all that, just drops it and says, but what I'm really saying is we weaponize the intelligence communities to garner opposition research on another political candidate. That's what I'm really saying. And I'm privy to this information to back up what I'm saying. Now, one more time, I want to stress the appeal. When will we see it, Devin? When? And some of this is on Barack Obama. Goodness gracious, on President Trump. I'm all over the place today. President Trump, you've been promising us for close to a year now that you are going to redact that information with the FISA warrant, that we're going to learn about the Gang of Eight, that we're going to learn about the Woods trials, that we're going to learn about how they surveilled Carter Page. You promised us for a long time we're going to be able to see all this. And I at this point, the only thing I can hang my hat on is that you're playing out some long con scheme so that you don't have to deal with the Mueller probe in the meantime and the obstruction of justice, accusations that are going to come from that. And I hope that's what's going on. I hope when this next Friday or the next Friday or whatever Mueller rolls out his actual thing, we're finally going to see some of the stuff that Devin Nunez has been talking about and President Trump has been talking about. Listen one more time to what Nunez is saying, though. A little bit vague, a little bit ambiguous with his language, but then couches in the back end by saying, no, basically what we did is we got the FBI to spy on the Trump campaign so we can help Hillary Clinton win.
But steps that never have been taken before at the DOJ or the FBI, starting with the fact that they use the counterintelligence capabilities, the capabilities that are used to target terrorists and bad guys overseas, and they turned it onto a political party.
She talks about for the first time that there was some verification file as it relates to the dossier. Now, I would argue that that is a complete impossibility, considering that under sworn testimony and in interrogatory in Great Britain, that, in fact, Christopher Steele said he can't corroborate his own dossier, and it's raw intelligence, and he has no idea if it's true at all.
All right, now this part is very, very important to listen to, and I'll back it up one more time so you can understand what Sean Hannity is saying here. And Kelly's saying on Facebook, what a mess. Absolutely. This whole thing is just an absolute mess. It's a mess from the top down. It's a mess from when they started trying to do this from beginning to end. It's a mess if you think about how deeply rooted some of this stuff is. She also says they're not even trying to hide it anymore. That's absolutely true as well. It is an absolute outright mess. And this is why I keep trying to stress this so much. This is why this story in particular, there's a few stories that is sort of a reoccurring theme on the show. But this one in particular, I actually enjoy researching this. I do not enjoy researching the pedophilia stuff. Frankly speaking, I don't necessarily enjoy researching the Conspiracy Theory Thursday stuff. That stuff just does something weird to my soul. This type of stuff, though, oh, man, I could talk about this for 5 hours straight. I say that because this is what's going to overwhelm our representative republic. This is what is going to destroy the fabric of this nation if it has not done so already. And I believe the one saving grace we might have, much like a V for Vendetta type thing, is a collective consciousness, an aspect and understanding of everybody being self-aware enough for at an individual level. You may not think that you personally will make a difference, but you, coupled with your neighbor, coupled with your neighbor's neighbor, coupled with everybody in Tennessee, coupled with everybody in the Southeast, coupled with everybody in this nation, finally waking up and being aware that, oh, we may not actually have representation. Our voice may not actually be heard. For decades upon decades, this clandestine fourth agency of our fourth branch of the government might actually have more influence than my own representatives do. That's all I'm really wanting out of this. We got to hit this break coming up, but listen, when we come back, and I'm going to carry this into the 8 o'clock hour, I think it's the biggest story of the day. Listen to how Sean Hannity sets this up. So where we just left from is that Devin Nunez has basically confirmed, okay, yeah, the evidence that we see now that I've been through here for months at a time, I've had this Lisa Page testimony for months, y'all just now figuring out about this. What I've confirmed is that it's now looks exactly like the Obama DOJ weaponized our intelligence communities for nothing more than garnering opposition research on another political candidate. Secondly, Sean Hannity carries into this question of Lisa Page seemingly said that she could corroborate Christopher Steele's information, but Christopher Steele himself said that he could even corroborate some of the stuff that was in his own dossier. We'll leave it there because the answer that Devin Nunez gives is exactly what I've been saying for months. Be right back.
Thousands of MS-13 gang members and their associates were arrested, and that's pretty good, right? No. Okay. Deporting and arresting MS-13 gang members, that's good.
That's you determining that.
Okay, I would say yes then for me. Yeah. How about you?
Hey, man. I think the other things that you're not acknowledging are the things that are bad about you.
That's fine, and I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he's the worst. I'm just saying he's not that bad. Do you hear where I'm coming from?
Worse.
You think he's not that bad?
I think he's still pretty bad.
NATO, he's pressuring our allies in NATO to pay their fair share, pay their 2% goal of the GDP. In January, he raised $100 billion just from that trip to NATO. That takes some pressure off us, our pockets, our military. That's pretty good?
Sure. I will agree that economically, he's great. He definitely does have that experience, but that's really it in my opinion.
He beat Hillary Clinton pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We all agree on that. So I'm not here saying he's the best thing ever. I'm not saying he's Hitler. I'm just saying not that bad. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Not that bad?
Not that bad.
All right. Very cool. Thank you guys so much.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I saw you looking at the sign. What do you think?
I support Trump.
What would your reaction be if people knew that you were openly a Trump supporter? If you wore like a MAGA hat on campus, what would happen?
I don't want to know.
Pretty scary, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos of people getting punched and like spit at or yelled at. I'm just a recent Trump supporter. I didn't vote for either one in the election, but I've been doing a lot more research the past couple months, and I was like, I don't understand why everyone hates him so much.
Sir, the media wants people to think politics is nothing more than bad guys versus good guys, bigots versus good people. And they're like, oh, I don't have to pay attention to politics. I'm not a racist. I'm not an old religious white person. I'm a liberal. And the truth is, the spectrum has gotten so skewed right now that if you're to the right of Ellen, you're like a conservative. So now I'm just trying to tell people, it's like, hey, so I think my theory is we have enough in common with the average person who doesn't follow politics to make...
Deal. Are you sure that was sounding okay? Fellas, it was sounding great. I could have used a little more cowbell. Yeah, explore the space. Okay.
That's awesome. One of the classic SNL skits.
His shirt's like above his belly button.
That little muffin top that keeps poking out. I think that next part when he comes back in is my favorite though, where he gets upset about it and he's like,
yes,
it's just all up in his face, right? Dang, 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 dang. Oh, come on.
It's like the best 5 minutes ever.
It is. Oh my gosh. I'm like everybody else. Put my pants on one leg at a time. The difference is when I do, I make gold records. You know, I'll be wearing gold-plated diapers. What does that even mean, Ross? That's what they say. Anyways, let's continue this on. All right, so where I left off with Devin Nunez is talking to Sean Hannity and basically confirms what I've said the entire time. Okay, cool. So we use the FBI and the CIA, and there was a sitting president who ordered through his DOJ, one, that they're not going to look into the Hillary Clinton emails. I have 3 headlines that we've already spoken about that today. If you just joined us, let me recap on those. Bruce Orr revealed political operatives got FBI to investigate the NRA. Here's another one, more about what I was talking about. Hillary Clinton investigators were told Obama DOJ was not willing to charge her on key espionage statute. And yet another one is coming from LA Times. Peter Strzok confirms Clinton DOJ struck deal that blocked the FBI access Clinton Foundation emails on her private server. All right, fine. So that's the situation. Not only do we have Barack Obama's, President Obama's, former President Obama's DOJ basically either being complicit in or ordering a stand down for the Hillary Clinton investigation, but they also now have the intelligence community weaponizing the FBI and the CIA to garner opposition research on a political candidate. So that's been confirmed. Now, Sean Hannity just asked Devin Nunez, hey, how is it that Lisa Page says she can corroborate Christopher Steele's testimony? And if any of this is getting too fast, Facebook, let me know. I'll slow down or retrack if I need to. I'm kind of taking for granted that I think everybody's caught up to speed with most of this story. Or give me a call on the Crown Plaza call number, 865-888-TALK, 865-888-8255. Tell me, hey, Mr. Henry, slow down, backtrack. What did you say here? Where we just left off, though, is Sean Hannity just said, hey, how is it that Lisa Page can corroborate when Christopher Steele doesn't even know how he got some of this information?
Dossier, and it's raw intelligence, and he has no idea if it's true at all. Maybe 50-50. So
Yeah,
how
Sean,
could anyone corroborate something that the author of says he can't corroborate? That's impossible.
Well, I think what you're going to see when this all comes out, and look, there's going to have to be more interviews are going to have to be conducted. The best thing that could possibly happen is the Department of Justice to actually take a deep look at this and analyze it. But as it comes to the dossier, my personal belief, now, we don't have anyone who testifies to this yet, okay?
Again, Devin Nunez doing what Devin Nunez does. Well, listen, my personal belief... What is your personal belief, Nunez? Well, before I tell you my personal belief, we don't have anyone that's really that's confirmed this yet. I can't validate it. You know, I still need to lend some credibility or credence to what I'm saying, but here's my personal opinion.
But my personal belief is that Christopher Steele really didn't draft most of that dossier.
Exactly.
I believe the dossier was drafted in advance by Fusion GPS and other operatives, including it was drafted.
Just for a moment if I told you so. Give me 60 seconds to do this, Ross. Just for a moment if I told you so. Real News has been reporting on this 3 months ago. We said this.
Really didn't draft most of that dossier. I believe the dossier was drafted in advance by Fusion GPS and other operatives, including Nellie Orr, by the way, which be...
Oh, it only gets better from here on out. This is a 12-minute clip. We're only 2 minutes into it. 7:58. Stick around for news, traffic, weather, all that. Be right back. Facebook! I'll leave y'all with some more Fleckis talks. Or do you want something a bit more philosophical? Philosophical. All right, what about this guy? I have no idea what he's talking about.
You're under the influence of another end of the world religion, looking toward a different kind of paradise. It's called environmentalism. And it says that we humans are causing climate change. This is...
I don't know what this is, Facebook. It's something with Joe Rogan, so there might be some cursing. We'll see.
A little silly. For example, we humans right now, we're under the influence of another end of the world religion, looking toward a different kind of paradise. It's called environmentalism. And it says that we humans are causing climate change. Now this is a little silly. We humans may be contributing to climate change, but climate change has been the norm on this planet for 4.5 billion years.
This is one of those sacred science subjects that's almost like
you're not allowed to talk about
scientific Jesus. Like
right.
You cannot question the ancient scrolls.
And it's an end times belief system.
Yes.
Because it says the world is about to end because of things we've done, because we've sinned.
Right.
And if we simply sacrifice to the goddess of nature, to Gaia, the universe will go back to being a climatically stable Garden of Eden. Well, I got news for you. This planet has never been climatically stable. In the very beginning, it wheeled around its axis once every 6 hours. That means if you pick any point on the surface, it was in this poisonous stuff called radiation for 3 hours. Then it was yanked into darkness, which is equally destructive, and the temperature would go up a minimum of 86 degrees up and down 86 degrees every 3 hours. That's climate change. Plus, it was on a tilt, and it was rotating around the sun. And as it rotated, the climate went through hideous changes.
But this is all way in the past. And what people are concerned with, what our role and what impact human races have.
Doesn't matter. What we need to be after is climate state. If we really want the climate to be the way it was in 1650, before the Industrial Revolution, that's a human choice. That's biogenic in origin. And we need to acknowledge that that's what we have decided. And now we're going to develop climate stabilization technologies.
My question for you, though, is why is it such a sacred subject? What you've just said, even just question it for a moment and saying that environmentalism is a type of religion, climate denialist, boom, you could be labeled with that.
That's
and
right.
Then people would love to break it down in a very simple one-sentence statement and call you Howard Bloom is a climate denialist, climate change denialist. That son of a bitch. And the next thing you know, people will repeat that. It doesn't have to have any
And nobody will
basis
want to sign you anymore for a book contract
They're not
or
looking
anything.
for any complexity or context in what you're trying to say. They don't want the subtle nuance of what you're trying to express.
Well, there's a blunt nuance. We have to develop climate stabilization technologies. If taking carbon out of the atmosphere is a carbon stabilization technology, then so be it. But we have to develop others because this globe goes through ice ages and global warmings.
So you think the answer is in technology?
Yes. That's what the answer's always been for humans. I mean, why were we born? Look, we have this chemical in our gut, cholecystokinin, and it only goes off when we eat meat. So we're built to eat meat, and it's a bonding hormone, like oxytocin. It brings people together. So if you're having a good meat meal with a bunch of people, this is a chemical in your guts that says, these are good people, stick with them.
Don't tell the vegans this.
Yeah, well, so why, if we were born to eat meat, don't we have claws? Why don't we have ripping fangs? Why don't we have fur?
Because we figured out a way to cook it.
Because we
figured out a way to make clothes. We figured out a way to use skins. We figured out a way to isolate ourselves from the environment in terms of housing and control of fire.
You got it. And that means that we were born naked. We were naked apes for a reason, because we are Homo toolicus, whatever that word would be. We are the people of tools. And we developed the first stone tool, to the best of our knowledge, approximately 3.1 to 3.4 million years ago, long before we became modern humans. So we were born in this peculiar way, that is naked and without claws and without ripping fangs. After we developed the tools it took, like fire and cooking, which you just cited, to allow us to have artificial claws, artificial ripping fangs, to cook our meals. The big conclusion of a book that I've just read on what makes us different from a neuroscientist, she's the neuroscientist who corrected the standard figure for the number of neurons in the brain from 100 billion to 86 billion by actually counting them. She says what made us human was cooking, just what you said. Because when you cook, you liberate a whole mess of calories and nutritive sources that are not available to a gorilla that's eating leaves. And how do we know that? Because the gorilla is born with a potbelly the size of a Franklin stove. Because it needs this huge digestive apparatus in order to handle those leaves, to break them down into food. Right. Well, when you cook, you don't need that huge gut. Now, the bacteria, or the ape, is not able to go very far, the gorilla. He certainly can't migrate. Once, you see Jane Goodall, and she is pleading for us to save the habitat of the chimpanzees. Have you ever seen Jane Goodall pleading for us to save the habitat of baboons? Never. The baboons are the rats of Africa. Baboons are extraordinarily adaptive. They're extraordinarily curious. They're always finding new environments and figuring out ways to turn them into food. Chimpanzees don't have that quality. The reason we need to save their environment is because they're so dumb as a group. Because the collective intelligence of a group of chimpanzees is so low that now that they're adapted to one environment, that's the only environment they can adapt to. Whereas baboons, who have smaller individual brains, have greater collective smarts.
Have you seen how baboons have domesticated dogs?
No.
Yeah, they domesticated house dogs.
Yeah.
And figured out a way to keep the dogs near them so they could be alerted to when some intruders are in camp.
That's amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They kidnap these dogs and hold them hostage and feed them.
Right.
And the dogs just kind of learn to hang around them.
Well, they're ideal hunting companions.
Yeah. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, it's what we did once upon a time. And you could say very easily it wasn't us who tamed dogs, it was dogs who tamed us.
Yeah.
Look how well we treat them.
Here it is right here. See, they hold on to these dogs. The dogs try to get away.
Oh, is that a puppy in its shoulder?
Yep. It's a puppy on the ground.
Oh, I see.
And they eventually stay with them in these camps, but they hold them hostage. Look,
amazing.
He's dragging this dog around. He's not killing it, not eating it.
Right.
But they have somehow or another figured out that if they keep these dogs around long enough, the dogs will bark when intruders and predators are near.
Amazing.
It's crazy.
Absolutely amazing.
Really crazy stuff.
But remember, we were just looking at baboons.
Yes.
And baboons have a brain smaller than the brain of a chimpanzee. Have you ever seen a chimpanzee do that?
No.
No. Chimpanzees are not highly adaptive. What's the measure of intelligence? Ability to adapt.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see how we measure the intelligence of bacteria, knowing that bacteria work in a group of 7 trillion and have a collective intelligence within that group, and they have a collective multi-colony intelligence because once they develop certain genetic tricks, they pass the tricks around.
Let us return to the fight. This battle is far from over.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this program called Real News. My name is Mr. Henry. I'm your host of this program. Cool guy. I'm a cool guy. 865-888-TALK. That's 865-888-8255 is the number that you put into your cell phone or telephone or landline or Skype. I don't think Skype will work, but just punch all those numbers into your phone, and what ends up happening is it goes brrrr, and then eventually someone on the other end will pick up, and her name is Beautiful Roz. You can call her Beautiful Roz if you want to. I don't think she'll mind. Now, do you know who I am?
No, I can't say that I do.
Yeah, well...
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Hey, it's true.
Really?
What are you going to do?
People know me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
I need some leather-bound books in here, Roz. I'm just going to go find some today at a garage sale or something and swap meet, so next time you play that, I can be like, it is true. He does have leather-bound books in here. I'll go get some of my law school books. I'll get that Black's Law Dictionary is what I'll do. Yeah, so you put those numbers into your phone. That's 865-888-TALK, 865-888-8255. Roz picks up the number. And it's called the Crown Plaza Call number. If you have an opinion on anything I'm talking about today, I'll put you on air, and you can tell me what your opinion is. We'll have a conversation, even if you disagree with me. Actually, more importantly, if you disagree with me. I'd love to hear people that I disagree with, or that disagree with me. Those are my favorite people to take, but we just get them so infrequently. I can almost name them off of just, I think, one hand. I can count the number of times people called and probably disagree. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Here's what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about right now is Real News has been on the forefront of some of this analysis for a very, very long time. And I know I keep stressing that point. It's just, for a story like this, it's nice to have some vindication every now and then. Do you know what I mean? And maybe vindication isn't the best word. Maybe it's just reassurance that we did the show. Mr. Crawford was in on Wednesday, and most of the show I spent talking, and I talk to Shine about this all the time too. Of I used to really, one of the best things in political punditry is your predictive ability. right? To get out in front of whatever the next threshold is going to be, not just to be able to predict the threshold, but to pose and provide solutions ahead of time. And I used to be really good at that. And for some particular reason, I don't know when I lost this ability or when it started to have a gradient slide back. But recently, I've gotten to the point where I'm reading headlines and I just don't get it. I've lost the plot a little bit. So when I come across stories like this, where for months I've been promising my audience, look, I'm pretty sure I know what's going on here. I've seen this all before. It's the same exact game. Nothing's really new. Solomon told us there's nothing new under the sun, right? I mean, it's just nice to have some reassurance that when I go through stories like this, Devin Nunez is finally saying almost verbatim everything that I've been preaching for the past couple of months, if not the past couple of years, specifically pertaining to this collusion probe. Now, if you take that one step further, it becomes very, very disheartening, because now I have to consider, all right, now it's no longer punditry. Now it's no longer me just, like I say all the time, spewing this dogma on air. Now it's the fact that one of our actual representatives not only agrees with me, but has actual insight and knowledge, firsthand knowledge, to the accounts that I have just been merely speculating about, and still nothing is being done about it. The most I'm getting right now is some cherished or relished 12 minutes out of a Sean Hannity interview. That's the best I have. The best Democrats have right now is a 3-year probe looking into literally everything that they've ever wanted looked into. We gave them not just the Donald Trump probe. We let go the Hillary Clinton stuff. We let Benghazi go. We let Uranium One go. We gave them a week-long FBI investigation to the alleged serial rapist charge for Brett Kavanaugh. We have given and given and given and let go of everything. All I want is just one win. That's all I want. I just want one serious accusation to be followed up on in a serious manner. That's all I'm asking for. I don't think that's too much. And more importantly, if you're a Democrat out there that thinks this is some partisan issue, please stop that. Stop that. I don't care if this is Barack Obama sitting in the presidency or if this is President Trump sitting in the presidency, okay? This is a destruction, a dismantling from the top down of our representative republic, of the greatest human experiment ever conducted in all of human history. America is the greatest country to ever exist on the face of this planet, and I'm not saying that as in any sense of bias. I'm saying that statistically. Look it up. Look it up right now. The standard and quality of life now is better in America than it has ever been in any other civilized society in all of human history. It's considered impoverished right now if you don't have AC. What's the average cars per family right now? 2.5? Every single person and their mother has a cell phone. A lot of people have 2 or 3 or 4 cell phones. This is not... It is an objective statement to say that America is the greatest country that's ever been around. Now, yes, we have problems. Yes, the CIA has been propping up other countries for a long time. Yes, we have proxy wars all over the place. Yes, we've attempted coups. Yes, the CIA has done some bad things. I get it. But it doesn't mean that it's not worth saving. It doesn't mean that it's not worth trying to attempt to continue along this train and continue to make better, right? The principles that founded this nation are what's under attack. And it's all coming to the forefront now. It's all just bubbling up. We had this guy on, Alfredo, I forget his last name, Guerra. There he is. No, is that right? Alfredo Guerra? I'm pretty sure that's his name. Talking about fleeing Cuba. Talking about him hearing the same rhetoric now that Fidel Castro was pitching. That's not what we can have in this country. It's not. It's just simply not. Let me get back to some of this Devin Nunez stuff. As we get in this computer here, yeah. So here's Devin Nunez explaining a little bit of, just to catch you up, all right? Where we just left off is Devin Nunez is now confirmed from the information that he has firsthand knowledge of, and this has been months and months worth of time. We have knowledge now that they've weaponized the intelligence communities to garner opposition research. Cool. Check one box. Good. What I've said the whole time. Now, second, Sean Hannity asked Devin Nunez, how is it that we're corroborating this Christopher Steele information, the Steele dossier? And I don't think I need to do this one more time, but just for those that may have just tuned in, sorry, bear with me, Real News audience, regular Real News audience. Christopher Steele is the individual's connection with the Five Eyes community. Five Eyes community is basically the world scope intelligence community, us, UK, Australia, so on and so forth. Christopher Steele garnered this opposition research on Paul Manafort and Rick Gates and primarily President Trump. It's about a 37-page document or something. Each page has a different allegation of, I don't know, blackmail and extortion and bribery. It's basically stuff that they could hold against Donald Trump to get him to do Russia's bidding once he became president, okay? And that was the main thing that the FBI used to get a FISA court warrant, which is a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, is basically a way to circumvent the Fourth Amendment to spy on one of Trump's campaign individuals, a guy named Carter Page, for more than 2 years. Now, after this surveilling of 2 years, they never found any aspect of criminality on Carter Page at all. Nothing. Now, he lied to the FBI, but what he lied about was not illegal. No, lying to the FBI is illegal, but what he lied about, that act itself, was not illegal. So everyone's caught up now. That's Christopher Steele. Christopher Steele has some sense of veracity with the FBI, which is why they used him. It's the same package story. Again, keep this in the back of your mind. It's the same package story that Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS drummed up in 2007 against John McCain. John McCain didn't win, so they didn't use it then. They just repackaged the Hollywood script, put Donald Trump in there. It's literally like they put a macro in there and put out, every time you had John McCain, just put in Donald Trump. It's the same story, same players. Go with it, hit enter. Here we go.
Okay. But my personal belief is that Christopher Steele really didn't draft most of that dossier. I believe the dossier was drafted in advance by Fusion GPS and other operatives, including Nellie Orr, by the way, which would be the spouse to Bruce Orr, who was working for Fusion GPS. I believe the dossier was generated, and then they used Christopher Steele on it and helped to spread it around, feed it to places like the FBI, feed it to press outlets, be the person who.
So you're basically saying,
oh man, I'm just breathing that satisfaction in. Are y'all following me at all? I mean, I don't know if you're feeling this as much as I am, and maybe you shouldn't be, but this is just such a sense of satisfaction for me to finally hear Devin Nunez confirm what I have been speculating for months, if not years. They gave the information to Christopher Steele. Are y'all understanding what this is? This is one of the biggest political scams that has ever taken place in American history. They gave the information to Christopher Steele and said, because they know your name, we're going to funnel you through the FBI. Yeah, all this stuff is fabricated. That doesn't matter. It's your name that we're relying upon, and we're going to use your name like you got this information on yourself and actually did some type of organic research with these Russian oligarchs. We're going to funnel that through the FBI, through the FISA court, not tell them where the information came from, not tell them that it was meant for opposition research specifically against Donald Trump, not tell them that we gave you the information, and then we're going to get a surveillance order on Carter Page, an American citizen. Are you starting to follow me now that this is not a Democrat-Republican thing? Are you starting to understand where I'm coming from? My rage behind this? This has nothing to do with Trump or Obama. These are just the players that were at hand at the time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not so naive to think that that a George Bush wouldn't be doing the exact same thing or had not already done the exact same thing. Come on. I'm not that naive. I don't care if it's a Republican doing against a Democrat or a Democrat doing against a Republican. That is not the country that I live in. It is. It is now. But it's not the country I'm supposed to live in. 8:18, hit this first break. Be back with more of this.
Chuck Davis got a YouTube subscriber. Hey, Facebook, what are y'all, 90 in here? I'm gonna ask something weird. I've never once ran across somebody else that actually watched this program. Have you guys ever heard? Do you guys know who Timothy Heidecker is, or Eric whatever his name, Weinham? What?
A hair tie? Yeah. It's an awful conversation for us to be having right now on Facebook. No, the only thing I have, and this maintains my masculinity, I have this sparkly blue hair clip.
Oh, okay.
That, look, that's if Pac-Man was a hair clip.
I thought you had hair ties.
If Pac-Man was an effeminate hair clip, Or maybe this is just a pack woman hair clip.
Definitely a pack woman. It's a pack woman.
It could be an effeminate man, like maybe it's the mid-'80s or something, you know? And Prince is popping.
But it's not because it's 2019 and you're wearing a girl's hair clip.
But it could be the mid-'80s and maybe like that androgynous stuff was going on.
I actually need it and yeah. But it's cool.
Remember that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, yeah, y'all think you're hard now, but in the 80s, it was crazy. The dude that looked most like a chick was getting all the chicks. Yeah, it's true. It's a little bit true.
That is true.
What else did he
long
say?
Hair guys?
Yeah, and he was talking about that, all these cats are talking about Charlotte Marr got this fine new chick called Mickey Free. He's like, Mickey Free is not a girl. Mickey Free's a dude. I love that, dude. Mickey Free is not a girl.
Veterans Airlift Command. Simple.
Anyways, Facebook, for the 90 y'all that are in here, this guy named Timothy Heidecker. He did that show called Tim and Eric Show. Great job. They have had a whole bunch of other shows too. Has anybody ever heard of this Adult Swim show called On Cinema at the Cinema? I truly believe it's the greatest comedic creation, I think, of my lifetime. I think it's absolute comedy genius. And I don't have enough time to explain why, but if you get a chance, just go check out On Cinema at the Cinema. You have to start from season 1. It's a whole weird comedic universe they've developed. Anyways, I absolutely love it. I'm hoping one day to come across someone that's actually watched that so I can have a conversation with someone about it because it's weird stuff, man. All right, back to the real news.
Speaker, before I begin, I ought to tell you a little about myself so you'll know where I'm coming from. First off, I am 35 years old. I am thrice divorced, and I live in a van down by the river. We'll start with you, young man. Let me begin with an obvious question. Who threw the egg?
I don't know, but I can tell you what you had for lunch, a chili dog. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, that and a nickel get you a hot cup of Jack Squat.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. I always love when SNL characters break, by the way. That's one of my favorite things. Unless it's Jimmy Fallon. It seems like Jimmy Fallon purposely broke sometimes. That got a little bit much, you know? But David Spade, for example, in that one, just because it's so insanely funny, he just can't hold it back.
And Adam Sandler, when he does it.
Yeah.
It's great. Because he's usually always in character.
Yeah, he is, yeah. In a van down by the river.
That's one of the greater ones.
I just want to know, like, the pitch meetings they have in SNL sometimes. I would love to be a fly on that wall.
Yeah.
When those characters are first being developed and, you know, Christopher Farley comes in and is like in his normal Chris Farley voice. Okay, so it's a motivational speaker, but he's terrible at his job. His only motivating factor is that he lives in a van down by the river and you don't want to do that. Yes. Just some fat guy who falls on the table at the end of the skit.
He's got like the smallest coat on. Batman and a little coat.
Apparently the way that Will Ferrell auditioned for SNL was this really stupid skit where he was in the backyard barbecuing and he just kept yelling at his kids to get off the shed. It was just, he was just like, hey, so Frank, how you like burgers? Medium well? Get off the shed! Hey, get off the shed! I would love to see how that whole thing developed, you know? Anyways, back to real news because it's a program entitled Real News. Here's Nunez. We just picked up with him finally confirming, yeah, dude, Christopher Steele didn't even pin the Steele dossier. They just put it to his name. There's some sense of a legal understanding. I don't want to get too much into the weeds of this right now, but there's a bit of a legal understanding where if you're going to try and get a warrant on somebody, you have to have corroborating evidence, okay? So the police or whoever the investigative body is, let's say it's the FBI right now, has to do their own investigation, and then they probably need to corroborate that information, say, with somebody else on the ground. So if I had a confidential informant on the streets that said, hey, they're selling cocaine out of this house or whatever, I would then have to go corroborate that information on my own behalf. I'd have to do some surveillance outside the building, see if there's people that are coming and going at weird hours of the night or in multiple cars. You know how that goes. Now, I would also have to go back to my CI and prove the veracity of what he was saying, okay? That he's had reliable information in the past, or that, I don't know, whatever your factor is, that he's given us some information before and it actually led to an arrest. You get what I'm saying? So Christopher Steele had that veracity, not just with the FBI, but through the Five Eyes community. Here's Devin Nunez saying that all may be well and true, and that's the point of it. They used Christopher Steele to get this information out because he already had those claims and that credibility with these higher-level institutions. But he didn't write this dossier.
The spouse to Bruce Hoare, who was working for Fusion GPS, I believe the dossier was generated, and then they used Christopher Steele as the guy to put his name on it, and then help to spread it around, feed it to places like the FBI, feed it to press outlets, be the person who...
So you're basically saying that Hillary Clinton likely, well, by the way, and the FBI apparently, they paid... Christopher Steele was getting paid by a lot of people for the same work, or maybe work now you're saying he didn't do. The Russian oligarch, the FBI, the DNC, and Hillary.
That's sort of what he's saying, but what really Devin Nunez is saying, okay... Think about it this way, Sean Hannity. This is what happened. Glenn Simpson told us this in 2007. They did this exact same scam on John McCain in 2007. So what did John McCain do? In 2016, when he saw that President Trump was running, and he got a little bit fearful at the latter end of the primaries, when he started to think, oh, this populism wave is actually going to come during my lifetime. The neocons are on their way out. John McCain didn't even see the writing on the wall. At the very last minute, he did. But John McCain started thinking to himself, the neocon establishment that I have been essentially the lion of as building this up is going to be overwhelmed and is eventually going to succumb to the populist wave that Trump is riding right now. And it is just that. I chose those words carefully. Trump didn't create this populist wave. He just rode the crest. That's all he did. He saw what was there before anybody else did. He saw the threshold. So John McCain thinks to himself, what do I do to possibly shut this down? I know what I'll do. I'll do the same thing they did to me. Who's that guy? Get me Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS. And I'm creating a hypothetical here, but maybe the scenario went something distinct of John McCain gets on the phone with Glenn Simpson and says, hey, remember that thing y'all did to me? Can we do the same thing to Trump? Just give me all that same information. Not a bad idea. So then when Trump wins the primary, because they couldn't shut him down to the primary, John McCain thinks to himself, well, now I'm in a real pickle. There's no way I can just I could refuse to support Trump when he was a primary candidate. Now that he's our presidential candidate, there's no way I can get away with that. I mean, I'm a neocon, but goodness gracious, they're not going to let me be an independent here. That's absurd. So then they just take that information and funnel it over to the Hillary camp. And Hillary looks at it and says, this is golden. Y'all have the entire thing set up? You've been working on this for 10 plus years? Yeah, absolutely give me that. And you got the guy to fill in the blanks, and Paul Manafort is already on his team. What are we talking about? Yes, give me that. So it's a little bit Sean Hannity that Christopher Steele didn't do his own work. It's much, much more, though, that this has been in the works for a very, very long time. The players have been there. The script has been there. John McCain saw it come out. He funneled it over to Hillary Clinton. John started this research, by the way. We all know that, right? I mean, that's been public for a long time. He gave this all over to Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton just took the ball and ran with it. Now, what they did not account for is people finally waking up to some of this stuff going on. They didn't account for the idea that they had already laid the breadcrumb trail in 2007, and it's pretty easy to follow along. And it's highly, highly unlikely that the same thing that John McCain allegedly did in 2007 is the exact same thing that Donald Trump is allegedly doing now in 2016. Continue.
Yes, and probably didn't do much. So we've now through our investigation, we have found other evidence that's out there about pre-existing information that is very similar to what is in the Steele dossier. So I would say that Steele was more of a guy that was just hired to add his name to it and help spread it. I'm not saying that he didn't add something. He could have a couple sources, but the bulk of the information in the dossier is not Christopher Steele's. And in fact, a lot of this comes from work that Glenn Simpson did back in the late 2000s when he was a reporter at the
Oh, it's so good to hear. Oh, it's so good to hear. I just want to hear it for myself one more time. Listen to this.
And in fact, a lot of this comes from work that Glenn Simpson did back in the late 2000s when he was a reporter at the Wall Street Journal. So
you're saying this was literally made out of whole cloth and then used and abused by the highest ranking people in the DOJ and the FBI, who also now, we learned a lot today about the DOJ's role in exonerating Clinton, even though...
Yeah, but Sean, you see, this is the problem with Sean's radio program, is it's kind of a dry run for his television program at the end of the night, right? I mean, that is what he's saying, Sean, but it's far more complex than that. The tentacles are so much deeper than what you're giving it credit for right now. That's why it worked for such a long time. Yes, it is whole cloth that they fabricated and then you use the higher powers, but you can't just say that so flippantly. You can't just pass that off as if that's something that just is done on an average basis. On any given day, yeah, the FBI, I mean, yeah, whatever. They faked a FISA court warrant. They surveilled, I don't know, private American citizens for a couple of years, never found anything. And, they developed a script 10, 15 years ago, and then they just repackaged that and used it again. That's not something you can just haphazardly write off, Sean. I get what you're doing. I understand that. You're trying to put it in terminology that most people can understand and can grasp. But I'm telling you, Sean, people are ready for more. They are. They're ready for the full, in-depth knowledge, the real news analysis. They get the seventh layer of that bean burrito. Americans are ready for that conversation. We are no longer afraid of what might be revealed. What we're afraid of is something that could potentially be revealed that is never actually revealed. That's what we're afraid of now. The people in the internet day and age now have been exposed to so much stuff. We've actually been desensitized to most of this. We've become numb to most of this. Oh, Hillary Clinton body count raised one more time. Well, whatever. Seth Rich died. Nothing happened there. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, whatever. What is it? What did you say, Helen? Wait, tell me one more time. Oh, no, I get it. She misplaced some emails. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what I mean? What is that? Oh, you're saying the Obama DOJ decided beforehand that they weren't going to charge anything? Well, she's an elected official. She's got immunity. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's royalty. She's royalty. Clinton's royalty. What are you going to do? That's where Americans are at now. That's where we've surpassed the idea of being fearful about it. We've become comfortably numb to the idea that nothing's ever going to happen to these people. And that is an awful, awful place to be. So take one step back with me. Come back to that moderation level. Come back to that level of... No, don't stand for this. We're 4.5 minutes into a 12-minute clip. It only gets better continually. 8:32. Be right back.
To make them not progressive enough for the mob. And then once they're disenfranchised by the mob and a political refugee, we scoop them up 2020 Trump victory. So you think that's a good plan?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is a lot of a divide. You look at what the Democratic Party is pushing towards, and there's a lot of people in the middle. And so if you just present the facts, I think you could get a lot of people to turn around for Trump 2020.
Thousands of MS-13 gang members and associates have been deported since he's been in office. That's a good thing, right? MS-13 has no place here, right?
Okay, I'm just listening.
Okay, that works. We're going this way. Would you agree that criminal justice reform, the First Step Act, was pretty good? It shortened minimum sentencing and it gave inmates the ability to get out of jail sooner for good behavior and for seeking education, and also didn't require pregnant inmates giving birth to be shackled during pregnancy and during birth. That's good?
I think those things are good, yes.
Van Jones said that, give the man his due. Donald Trump is on his way to becoming the uniter-in-chief on an issue that has divided America for generations. Van Jones said that, CNN guy. Maybe he's not that bad?
I'll listen to CNN.
All right, I can agree with you there. All right, good talking to you, man. Keep it 100. Here you go. Please. It's for my job. I have the best on. I have the best, please. Oh, man, that was close. To be fair, everyone thinks he's the worst. Some people think he's the best. Would you agree that he's maybe not that bad?
Yeah, he is pretty bad.
Take the sheet.
I think we should be wasting a lot of money on border security right now. I think calling that a national emergency is just preposterous,
Do you think we have any immigration issues?
Of course. Yeah, we do.
You know what would help?
I think right now that's just not the main priority. Like, yeah, like you're right. You know, like there's improvements to be made in that area of government. But like with all the other things going on right now, with how much poverty we have in our country that's supposed to be one of the best countries and wealthiest countries in the world,
Yes.
that's f***ed up, man.
Yes. Why are we spending so much money on people here illegally? I totally agree.
That's incorrect.
That's what I thought you were saying. Why do you think the media misrepresents him so much?
That's a funny.
Because he's not going with their agenda.
They want clicks.
They want clicks?
They want clicks. They want the viral, oh my God, look what Trump did story, and all their stories don't pan out. How about Russia? 2 years of Russia, and it's not even real.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think, well, you look at Brett Kavanaugh, and you look at Jussie Smollett, and you look at all of this stuff, the narrative.
Covington kids.
The Covington kids, yeah. That all happened recently, and it's just crazy how they just like push this narrative. They feed off of emotions. Like I saw a clip of a celebrity.
Norm, did that just happen? That just happened like an hour ago? I should probably get some updates on that if that's what's going on. Hang on. Yep. 49 killed. Goodness gracious, for real? Live streamed? Dude, I swear, man. I said they were going to start live streaming these attacks.
Joining us now on the phone,
Man.
Nadia Tolik, host for a national radio network based in New.
There's some things I hate being read about, and it's this. I said 5 years ago they were going to start live. Does anyone see Scream 4 or 5, whatever the thing was? It was whatever the last Scream was, and they started putting GoPros on their head, and they started live streaming. Scream, the movie with Neve Campbell to begin with. Everyone knows Scream, right? The Wes Craven film. One of like the horror genre's classics. The last one in the installment was them putting GoPros on their head and live streaming these murders. And when I was watching that movie, it hit me. And that movie came out, I want to say like 5 or 6, 7 years ago. It hit me then. I thought to myself, bro, the next step up in these stupid freaking massacres is they're going to start live streaming them, man.
On all the people there, including men, women, and very young children. Some of those eyewitnesses recounted how they ran into the mosque after he left. He found a father cradling his daughter who had been shot. He was screaming for assistance, screaming for an ambulance, anything. Another gentleman called us and told us that he'd gone into a bathroom to wash his hands, and in fact, he heard the shooting unravel outside the door. He was calling 111, which is our emergency line. He had to wait 20 minutes until the police arrived. But what he could hear, he said, was worse than a terrorist. They were cold-blooded killers, and he was absolutely petrified. So as you can imagine, the entire chaotic event has been truly harrowing for all of New Zealand, let alone the city of Christchurch.
Nadia, are you suggesting there was more than one gunman, more than one assailant?
Yes, there has actually been 4 arrests. One person, one individual, has in fact been charged with murder and will appear in Christchurch District Court tomorrow morning. The other 3, it's still unclear as to what their involvement was, if anything. There were rumours or reports that in fact one of the people involved just came out with a weapon. But in fact, New Zealand is a country which does not have weapons.
Join us for a round of golf sometime.
Oh, you know what? We're just nuts about the game. We'd love to, but I gotta warn you, Susan's a scratch golfer.
Oh!
Well, you know, I've been playing forever. Actually, this is a cute story. We met on a golf course in Scotland when we were...
Get off the shed! How about next Sunday, Pebblebrook? 12 o'clock tee-off time. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Yeah, maybe we can get John and Sally out for the game.
Oh boy, I don't know about John. I mean, he's a great guy and everything. But as far as golf go, well, let's just say he spent a little too much money on those clubs of his. Get off the damn shed! I just bought a brand new McGregor 3-wood, and I'll tell you, that thing is smooth.
8:39 in the morning. Hang on. freezing me now. Yeah, I'm coming back in with a somber tone. I know, but it's for a good reason. Hang on, 1:30. I don't know what that means. Okay, I don't know when this happened. I'm just now catching up to this. I want to say this happened an hour ago, half an hour ago. I really want to finish out this analysis on the Devin Nunez stuff because I was excited about being right about something for the first time in a long time. But unfortunately, I got to switch to this breaking story right now. Drudge Report headlines. Again, someone at Facebook let me know when this actually went down. I'm just now coming across this an hour back. When did this actually story break? I don't want to hide the ball here. Mosque terror, New Zealand, 49 killed, massacre, live stream, revenge on invaders, Christchurch, shock. Let me just give you a couple of headlines that I'm reading here. At least 49 people are killed. And again, if you're just joining Real News, the policy that we have here, I'm starting to even change this policy where I don't even want to read these stories because the stories themselves can sometimes lend credence to copycat scenarios or somehow legitimize their delusion, even if I don't read the individual's name. Do you get what I'm saying? Like even just reading the acts itself, but I don't know whether any other way to cover it yet. So until I get through this own sort of cognitive dissonance that I'm dealing with, this is the best way I know how to cover it. By that, I mean, I'm going to do my best I possibly can to not read this guy's name. If for some reason I stumble across it, I'll try and edit it out later on, but that's the policy here in Real News. I am not ever once going to give this trash subhumans yet one more platform to espouse their disgusting ideology, to live in the annals of history any more than they want to right now. I will read the victims' names. I'll devote a 3-hour show to just continuously reading the victims' names, but I will never once, I will try my best I possibly can to never read these perpetrators' names on air. Subhuman animals is what they are. At least 49 people are killed, 48 injured. Caller Mattson Studio, what's up, buddy? 49 people killed, 48 injured in multiple Christchurch mosque massacres. This is coming from Daily Mail, involving an Australian terrorist. Apparently the individual is 28 years old who live streamed himself. I have a very strong opinion on that right now. I'll get to that maybe now and here in just a second. Let me get through some of the details. Live streamed himself opening fire on worshippers as a man in his 20s is charged with murder. An Australian right-wing terrorist. I don't even know what that means, man. I don't know what right-wing terrorist means in Australia. I don't even know if he is a right-wing terrorist. Whatever, just we'll go with it for right now. Matt says no, but an Australian right-wing terrorist live-streamed himself massacring dozens of worshippers at a mosque. Witnesses reported hearing 50 shots from his semi-automatic shotgun. Hold on. 50 shots from a semi-automatic shotgun? How long did this shooting take place? What does a Mossberg hold? Was it 5 in that pump? 6 if you put...
5 to 8.
Yeah?
Depending on what he's carrying. Maybe
50 shots?
9. It takes a long time to reload a shotgun. You have to be a pro.
That's what I'm saying. What? Maybe an AA-12 or something has a magazine you can load into it, but I don't know any other run-of-the-mill shotgun where you can...
You're looking maybe 15 then.
That's what I'm saying. Individually...
You're looking at a clip that's 2 feet long. That kid, how is he carrying all this ammo?
And again, I don't know much about firearms, but 50 shots from a semi-automatic shotgun, I don't know about that, man.
Apparently had a rifle as well.
Okay, the rifle would make sense to me, but...
Makes sense, but none of this is going to make any sense.
Huh? At 2 a.m.? See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what 2 a.m. means to... Okay, so what time? It's 1:39 a.m. apparently right now in New Zealand. I'm trying to figure the timeline here, caller Matt, as to when this thing went down. All right.
Me and my son were just talking about
Really?
this all the way to school.
It just broke, though. Am I wrong? Like in the last...
Earlier this morning.
Earlier this morning? Okay,
It was on Instagram about 6:30.
Okay.
So, it did break this morning.
All right. That's probably why I missed it then. I was driving in, but luckily someone on Facebook, I want to say Norm or someone turned me on to this. He made a casual passing comment about something happening, and I just decided to turn on what was going on here, and I probably should have been talking about this in the beginning. Norm saying there's 3 perps? Okay. I'm getting information that there was only 1. Here's a headline from AP. Where did that go? Yeah, this is updated 14 minutes ago. Mass shootings in New Zealand, mosque kills 49, 1 man charged. But there's another headline I'm looking at that's saying there may be more than 1 perpetrator as well. I actually just heard an interview with a New Zealand-based local affiliate that was actually asking someone that was at the scene, saying, so wait, you're telling me there's more than 1 man involved?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's new to me then.
That would account then for if you're hearing 50 shots from a semi-automatic shotgun, it would account for if you have 2 to 3 individuals that are shooting shotguns.
And the body count.
Right? Yeah.
No one person can do this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this kid at 20-year-old, are you commando? You train your whole life?
The gunman live streamed the mass shooting inside this was called Al Noor Mosque, which happened about 1:30 p.m. A nearby second mosque in Linwood, also the city of Christ Church, was also attacked soon after. At least 49 people are confirmed dead, 41 from the first mosque, 7 from the second, and 1 in hospital. 4 people who were known to counter-terror authorities were taken into custody for questioning. New Zealand police are raiding a home in another area believed to be the address of the gunman's car is registered to. In a twisted manifesto, the gunman wrote that he targeted the mosque while training for another attack. Interesting. What? They want some email tips here. Let me get the New Zealand take here. New Zealand mosque shootings, terrorists revealed in a warped 74-page manifesto. He was inspired by Norway mass murderer. Yeah, okay. Mass murder, the guy in Norway.
Breivik?
Yeah.
Gross, sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
No, that's all right. That one happened a while ago. I know what you mean, though. Mass shootings at New Zealand mosques, 49 killed, 1 man charged in AP. Let me make a comment here on the way out for this. We got about 3 minutes left here. Obviously, there's 2 things that really pull me back here. Obviously, the body count. Obviously, the terrible nature of like I said before, these subhuman individuals that, in my mind, if you do like this, you don't deserve to exist. I don't care if you think that's strong language or not. I really don't. You don't deserve to exist if you're curious.
Oh, I had stronger language with my son this morning.
Yeah, I can imagine, buddy.
This isn't how you do things. What did this guy do for his people? Nothing. You made things worse in New Zealand. It makes me sick.
I don't know how you get
I'm sick to my stomach.
I know.
This isn't how you do it.
No. The other thing for me that really strikes me in this, I was just telling this to Facebook off air, caller Matt. You know the Scream series, right? Wes Craven, one of the widely held is the very first Scream. Anyways, is like a pivotal moment in horror genre. Not exactly the grotesque nature of what's the Saw series, right? But just borderline on that to show you enough to get you creeped out, but also really suspenseful. Okay, well they took that series and by the end of Scream 4, Scream 5, there's a bunch of them. I don't know. The very last one though. It was a kid that I was like Macaulay Culkin's brother or something was playing this guy. But the premise of this one was it was a guy and a girl that were working together. And I don't want to spoil too much of the film. It's not a great movie, so you don't have to watch it. But the premise of it was that they took it to the next level in the information age, and they put GoPros in the top of their head, and they started live streaming these Scream killings. And this was 6 or 7 years ago. And instantaneously, when I saw that first thing, when they revealed in the movie that what they're doing is live streaming and selling it off to their friends for the highest bid or whatever, I thought, dude, that's the next step. That is the next step in these terrible mass shootings. Somebody is going to get the bright idea to live stream this stuff.
Kind of been doing it.
They have a little bit, right? And it's been close there. If it hasn't been the individuals that are perpetrating these crimes, it's been under people on their cell phone crimes. And I remember when I was in Virginia Beach, there was a guy who was getting a divorce or his girlfriend left him or something, and he live streamed a shooting of 2 people that he killed, a Virginia Beach news reporter on his cell phone. And that was the first glimpse that I have of dude, God forbid, because now there's no way for me to stop it. There's no way for me. You will forever remember that guy's name, the intimate details. You can go back. The internet lives forever, bro.
Oh, my son already watched all the videos.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
Yeah, what's all we're talking about. And it's kind of disturbing to have to talk to a 15-year-old about this.
YouTube can try and shut it down as much as they want to. Facebook can try and shut it down as much as they want to.
I don't know if they're trying.
They may not be, dude. They may not be.
If there's stuff they don't want out, then it doesn't... I mean, they censor Republicans easy enough.
Yeah, right. They can shut this down in a second, but the internet lives for absolutely forever. And I thought to myself, like, dude, that is the new step. If you start to live stream this stuff, we have lost a sense of humanity, and it all couples together with me for everything, man. The mass shootings, the talk of socialism. I don't want to get too oddly political with this, but this whole the approach of AI, dude, we're losing a sense of what it means to be a human being. That idea of the spark of divinity that you see in another being, another individual that you genuinely respect, even though you disagree with everything they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it was legal to kill someone in the country, I wouldn't kill another person.
No.
I know some people that would, though. That's the problem.
If they touch kids, I could...
okay, yeah, all right. No, yeah, fine. Yeah,
We're talking hypothetical.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'd want 5 minutes in a ring of a UFC event with someone that diddles around with kids. But I'm telling you, man, this live streaming stuff with a body count of this high, this is why I hesitate.
What was the movie with Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
Here we are. It's finally
Dude,
It's here.
This is why I hesitate to even report on some of these details because I really don't even want to give someone to. I know I'm not reading the guy's name, but even at this point, I don't want to give someone the bright idea of like, what's a GoPro camera? $200? I could do this on my own. And now I don't need to rely upon ABC or CNN or Fox News to read my name or not read my name.
You just did it yourself.
I did it myself, dude. I did it myself, and forever, anybody who's inquisitive enough can go out there and look at me do it firsthand.
And you know what the kids just saw? The same thing.
And you know what's even worse about this, bro?
Their path to fame, I guess. And they saw it too.
And they're looking, and I haven't seen the footage yet, but I would think the guy probably, and I'm you knowing me, man, it's a bad thing that I do. The abyss is going to stare back at me eventually. I realize this. I'm probably going to go find these videos at some point just to see and get really into see what's going on with it. But I would think that it's done from a GoPro. I would probably think it's done from a first-person shooter perspective. And now you couple that with these kids that are going to watch this
video game.
And yeah, dude, I'm not saying they're going to replicate it. I'm saying it's not going to be that outrageous to them. It won't. When you're playing these video games every single day, it's just one step more to be that desensitized and removed. I was just talking about us becoming comfortably numb with not people putting people in jail. You have these kids that are going to look at this and be like, "Well, that's real life," and it's super gross. But I've kind of been worked up to it.
The comfortably numb is right on point. I think people are there. It's a scary thing.
8:50 in the morning. Hit this last break. Be right back.
I mean, I didn't realize this when we booked you yesterday. I got a your CT scan that's at 9.
Yeah.
Or 9:30, so I'm gonna have to leave at 9. John will come in here though, if it's cool with you.
Oh yeah.
Y'all can talk about whatever.
Oh,
man.
okay, cool. So I actually showed up. I get to help today.
Yeah, no, you really do actually. I'm sure John will love you being here too. But I got a lot of stuff that y'all can go on if you want to. You can finish out this Devin Nunez clip of the conspiracy that's been going on with the Russiagate stuff, or Snopes is trying to take down Tennessee Star.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude, they got a whole like
a cat lady and a cup.
They did like a 2-month-long investigation, man, trying to take down Tennessee Star, the Ohio Star, and the Minneapolis Star, and all this stuff.
Well, that's what they're there for.
I'm not playing, Matt. The fact that he live streamed this scares the ever-loving hell out of me.
Yeah, this whole thing scared the crap out of me, especially my son giving me the play-by-play of the video. It's horrific.
He saw it too?
He saw it. I didn't see it. He was just explaining it to me. I'm like, yeah, this person is horrible. I'm like, do understand this is not how you deal with issues.
What did he say it was? Like, I was just reading some stuff.
Like, you got to get on iFunny. That's where a lot of the videos are posted.
iFunny?
iFunny. It's where all the younger people are at.
All right.
All the real edgy stuff's on iFunny. I don't go there that much.
IFUNNY?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's the app where the kids post the video and are talking about his background, and the manifesto's already.
Oh, really?
It's already on Instagram.
I know there's websites that are specifically devoted to, like, say, screen grabbing tweets before they get to the
IG
door.
has been thrown up as a manifesto.
Oh, really?
It seems kind of, I don't know, scripted, to say the least.
Dude, a lot of this feels scripted, man.
It is. Like, I was trying to tell my kid, I'm like, who wins in this? The mosque.
Because there was just another shooting in a
Marxists.
school in Brazil yesterday, right? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
It's like, I don't know, dude. It's like all the mass shooters are getting together at the exact same time and coordinating. Like, hey, we'll go on the mass shooters blog today and just.
Well, we did watch South Park play.
Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah, none of these are. Let's say, I don't think a lot of these are natural. Unfortunately, maybe prompted, pushed, encouraged. Not sure. Because it does seem a little scripted. And then to have this manifesto roll out already, yeah, the way they kind of presented it on iFunny,
I know,
to the kids, and the way my son was expressing it to me disturbed the crap out of me. It's like, it's first person, Dad. I was like,
is it first person? He said that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
yeah.
assume.
And the guy, yeah, and the way it's just horrific what he was saying. I'm like, you do understand that the way this guy went about this in New Zealand is not how you do things. Like this, like the kids see this is a first-person game, dude. He's a smart kid. I'm like, it was very bizarre how he was talking about it. I did not like it.
I knew that's what was going to happen, dude.
I did not like it at all. And I was trying to explain. I'm like, buddy, the only people that win in this are the guy that this guy claims are his enemies.
Yeah.
He says he's doing this for New Zealand. No, he's not. All he did was his people are going to be oppressed more.
Is that what his manifesto was saying? What was his motivating factor? They call him a right-wing something or another.
I don't think he's right wing, but that's what they're going to call everybody. They called the left wing shooters right wing at first too, until people had to tell them no. But I'll have to dig into this one more, because to me, all it says is that there's going to be more funding for mosques.
$8:55 in the morning.
Thousand, 10,000 people. I don't know how many people listen to this program, but whoever actually listens to this program relying upon my analysis to understand that, dude, there's some type of responsibility or charge that I have here to make sense of this, and I just simply cannot. I just simply cannot, man. I can't. What we know so far, and this goes a little bit to what Norm was saying about the number of people involved, audio is down. Is it down? Hopefully it's not down. Can you hear me right now? Facebook? Hopefully I can. Anyways. At least one terrorist opened fire at two mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand at 1:40 p.m. local time on Friday. The Prime Minister has declared an attack as a terrorist attack. 49 people have been killed. 41 were killed at the first mosque, 7 at the second mosque. 48 people were rushed to the hospital with gunshot wound, 20 in critical condition. One of the gunmen live streamed the deadly attack on Facebook using a GoPro in footage too distressing to show. Caller Matt just said his son did confirm that it was first person perspective there, I suppose. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, what I mean by first-person perspective, there's some video games you play a third person where there's literally a camera angle that shows the entire silhouette of the back of the body. If you show shoulders, legs, all the way down the back of the head, and you control your little guy running through, and you can see his entire body. First person is as if, as much as it implies, you're looking through the individual's eyes. So you can see the end of the gun barrel, you can see the glove grip that you're wearing, you can see the trigger pull, all that stuff. It looks as if you're controlling the gun in front of you.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, that's exactly right. Yeah, Call of Duty. Starting with Doom, I think, back in the day, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He live streamed it to Facebook. It was posted on Facebook at a page belonging to an individual that I will not name. I would highly suggest you don't go watch this. It's understood that the killers and the Australian who published a chilling 74-page manifesto before the rampage, cops have arrested 3. Here's what Norm was talking about. Cops have arrested 3 men and a woman. It's believed that one was wearing a suicide vest, but police have now discounted that theory. 28-year-old man has been charged with the murder and will appear in court tomorrow. 2 others remain in custody. It's not clear if the 4th person was involved in the attack. New Zealand and Australian authorities have confirmed the suspects were not in any watch list. Really? I just read something they were. Bangladesh cricket team were at one of the mosques and escaped the shooting. Cops defused improvised explosives found on the body near booby-trapped cars. Prime Minister called it one of New Zealand's darkest days, and I would absolutely agree with that.
The clampdown is going to come on New Zealand. This is it.
Dude, I
see where this goes.
Caller Matt was just saying off air, too. I don't want to... This isn't Conspiracy Theory Thursday, but I just have to say, too, there was also a shooting that took place in a school in Brazil just hours before this also. Is there some blog out there that the mass shooters go to and say, here's the coordinated day that we...
No. There's other influences here. There are.
I don't know what's going on, man. 8:58. Unfortunately, I have to go do the CT scan. But Mr. Adams is going to be coming to fill in with Caller Matt.
I forgot your beard oil. Your Christmas present.
It's coming back in. It's coming back in. 8:58. News, traffic, weather, all that. Be back with John Adams, the Admiral, and Caller Matt.
And I do appreciate you being able to come in, man.
Hey,
and I'm sure
I'm
John,
glad it worked out.
Yeah, that'll really help him out a lot.
I was like, man, Grant's on a roll. They don't need me today. And I pulled in, and I guess Bob was out there. He saw me. He's like, hey, what are you here for? I was hoping to catch Grant and Roz out here smoking.
Yeah. Why are you here?
Tattooed guy walking out. Ready?
John, do you want to run the Facebook live stream from your phone, or just end it for right now?
Oh, I left that out. I left that
Wish
out.
I was dressed like him. That'd be wrong.
In my truck.
Well,
This is my
the
professional.
phone- Oh, hey, man, if I could get away
Well, I
with
guess I
it,
just
I would.
downloaded the app on here.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Oh, thanks.
This is Chris. Chris is going to sit in this
Hey,
hour
Chris.
also.
Nice to meet you.
All right, let me, App Store. It's, what is it, Mevo?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Graham, by the way.
Oh, I'm Chris.
Unfortunately, I have to step out this hour, but
Oh, that's all right.
normally I'd be hosting the thing with you, I guess.
Cool.
Caller Matt's one of our dedicated listeners.
Caller Matt.
Caller Matt.
There's no time for that.
No, we have.
Yeah, y'all have like
Am I okay here?
9 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Good deal.
John will be here. Well, I can set. Let me set him up over there. Actually.
Hey, good luck today. Sorry about
Ah.
that. You gotta get some stands.
Nah, man. This one actually I think is probably a good news fan. So.
Okay. It's never a fun thing. Laying a cold ass table moving through those lights.
Yeah.
That's all right. We have 4 others.
John, I'm putting him here, right?
Do I?
You can sit here if you want, buddy.
Awesome.
By the way, I'm sure John will tell you again, but there's a little white knob under here if you want to change that. And these microphones super one directional, so don't feel bad if I can wear it on. You know?
Okay, cool.
Don't be scared about the ironic anti-Trump theme there. It's meant to be some.
I was correct. There was a 15-round shotgun mag hanging out.
Oh, was it really?
Yep.
So it was a full-on
extended shotgun magazine.
All right.
That looks. It could be an assault rifle, but it could be also a Russian shotgun.
All right. All right.
So maybe he was hanging.
Coffee, please.
I like that vest.
Oh, thanks. Professionally hides my tummy.
We just went there. I just had breakfast.
It's like
with
this,
Billy.
just like the jacket.
Did you?
Professionally hides all my body art.
Where'd y'all have breakfast with Billy at?
That's right.
At the Hill. Of course, there are 500.
See, he gives me the chair that he knows I'll flip over if I lean on it.
All of them, man.
I say, why didn't y'all get me in on
There's
the
somebody who's sitting there.
interview of Billy?
Everybody? Me.
Try that one.
Oh, yeah.
Black?
Yeah. Absolutely. I like it ebony and ivory.
Rod's gonna yell at you for using
Together,
that.
perfect harmony. Hey, throw honey in there.
Yeah.
You got the truck right there.
Oh, it's not gonna let you do it. Hey, Facebook, I'm gonna end my stream right now.
Hey, hold on. Oh, help me here.
Yeah, I'm helping you. I gotta end my Facebook. I'm gonna end my stream right now. Mr.
I've
Adams is
seen
gonna
worse.
pick up the stream on his phone, probably coming from the same room as Paige. Love y'all. Peace.